Now we have BLM. I'm not sure that Roberto Gemignani, oh, he's here, so please that you made it. So the group is introduced by the company leader.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I want to introduce my team and please give them a warm welcome because they made really a great job. It was really difficult because it's an abstract job, it's an abstract problem. They have to find advantages and disadvantages of a dream. The dream is that we want to understand what happens in the market if we copy the nature. It means that we want to understand advantages, economical and environment advantages and disadvantages if we fix the life cycle of any good. Please.
Avete voluto cambiare il microfono?
Good afternoon to everyone. We are the BLM team, and we would like to present you our project, which name is Obliged Life Cycle. This is our roadmap to reach sustainability, and the first stage is the project overview. In last year, there has been a raised awareness of sustainability, and as all you know, the world economy has been undermined by the crisis in 2008. And due to this, many sectors are suffering. In order to face with this problem, an idea is to set an obliged life cycle to crucial manufacturing products and infrastructure in order to gain recoverable results. And what we have done, in order to verify the feasibility of this policy, we have developed a general methodology applicable to any industry, and we have run also a case study on automotive in order to illustrate how to use our methodology and also to examine the effectiveness of our policy. The second stage is methodologies and guidelines description. This is the way to go defined by us in order to verify the feasibility of such a policy in any industry, starting with the industry evaluation and ending with the evaluations of possible environment reaction. Now we are in the third stage of our roadmap, in which we have to select a set of value indicators in order to judge our policy. We have started to identify a group of indicators after we have explained them and also send them to a selected group of experts with the evaluation tables in order to understand which of them will have the bigger impact by policy. And in order to show you the logic that we have followed to find them, this is an example. And at the end, we have obtained the final list of indicators with the variance of the market, the industry turnover, the fiscal contribution added, the unemployment rate, the social cost variant of the market, energy consumption of raw material, and in the end, the total annual CO2 emission. After we have computed all of these indicators, and we have for the current situation and for the 5 years life cycle. And after, as you can see from the table, we have compared them. And what we have obtained, that we have huge benefits from all the three areas of sustainability. There are economical, social, and environmental, but there are also some weaknesses, like the fact that with the implementation of the policy, the yearly production will triple, and find investment to do this is not so easy. And also the cost of cultural break that will be explained later in the feasibility analysis is unbearable, also considering the gain coming from taxes. So how to overcome this problem? This is the solution. We have crossed the car value depreciation curve with the car expenses curve. And we have found in the intersection the optimal life cycle period duration that, as you can see, is 8 years. As following, we have computed all the indicators with 8-year life cycle, and this is the table of the result. And as you can see, respect to the comparison with this situation, we gain from all of the three areas of sustainability. but the results are not so clear in the comparison between the 5-year life cycle and 8-year life cycle. So in order to clarify this point, we have also performed a feasibility analysis. That is the next step.
Good afternoon, and I would like to perform feasibility analysis. As all of us know that culture is the most difficult thing to change, and therefore the most expensive one. And that's why we ask people how much they're willing to pay for the car with established life cycle. And we obtain the result. And this percentage shows how much people would like to pay for the car with established life cycle in comparison with the current price. That means that the rest should be covered somehow. And this is absolute values. And we call it the cost of cultural break, the difference between the current price of the car and the price of the car in the future, which people will be willing to pay for this car. And total value, it will be this much. And it makes 5-year life cycle cost unbearable. And assuming that we know income of all the car manufacturers in Europe, we can reach this result. And how to deal with this? Government should pay. Well, yes, by subsidies. However, we just will use fiscal income surplus, which will government gain from the rising of sales after policy implementation. And moreover, we have existing subsidy for car changing, which is already operating inside the Europe. And the situation will improve and become positive. However, what if we will change the culture? Because the government cannot pay forever and the car manufacturer doesn't have that much significant income. To change the culture, we should foster people to make them pay and understand for what do they pay. Imagine price scales. From the one side, we will let customer cover 1.5% each year of the cultural cost. And this time the government will pay 1.5% less by subsidies. In order to balance the price, the car manufacturer invest into the research and development department in order to redesign the material composition of the car in order to make it cheaper. However, we asked people, and 60% of people said that after policy implementation, they will change the class of the car on the cheaper one. And that means that average price of the car will be cheaper. So if we will imagine that this kind of policy worked for 20 years, and all of the cost of culture would transfer to customer, but they will not feel it, because the average price of the same car will be cheaper. And we can obtain this result, which will be double the income. And the customer will be already understand for what do they pay and understand the reasonability of the policy. And it will be possible to apply for 5-year life cycle in order to increase economical impact after. And how future will look like after this. Our research showed that the average vehicle occupancy in Europe is 1.7 passenger per car. And usually all of the trips are operated inside of the city for the short distance. And this fact allows us to assume that probably the future city car can look like this. And we asked people what do they think about. And 95% of them said that it's okay. And they gave 6 out of 10 the score. And that means that people are ready for changes. In order to conclude, we want to say that it's definitely not easy to implement. It will take a long time. However, we proved that the policy is feasible and it brings benefits. But in order to make it real, we should take it as our own problem, not the problem of the government or the problem of the earth. And as we said before, to change the culture is very difficult, but the result is also very significant. And we need this change. Thank you very much, and let's make it happen.
Thank you. Even Russian people can be nervous, so. Now we have Deborah as a discussant.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the presentation and also the project. I have a couple of questions. The first one is, how would you convince people in changing the car? Because also at the moment, we have like incentives for changing the cars. But if people don't have money, then won't change the car. And then the second question is about the evaluation, because you perform an evaluation, but did you also perform a sensitivity analysis considering the technologies of the cars in the future? Because you say, okay, the life cycle can be 5 years or 8 years, but in 5 years or 8 years, we can have electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles. So did you also consider the different scenarios in your analysis? Thank you.
Can I ask for the first question?
How would you convince people in changing the car?
Okay, the main answer is that the policy will be implemented step by step. That means that from the first time it will be very difficult. That's why government will pay, and customer will pay just 1.5% in a year, but they will not feel it since it should be mutual improvement by customers in order to understand the idea, and by manufacturers, which will invest in order to make the car cheaper. According to the second question, what was I just?
The scenario analysis considering the different technologies of the cars.
I don't remember actually. Can you repeat?
Okay. Given that in the future we can have electronic vehicles.
Okay. Yes, the answer is that if we will use right now the electronic vehicle, that means that we will, let's say, overcome all of the limit of lithium, because usually electronic vehicle use lithium-ion battery. If we will use it, we will probably can build the car fleet just for next 2 years, and after it will not be possible because all of the resources will be used. That's why it's better to use external combustion engine, but more environmental friendly.